What's up, everybody? You are tuned into the Output with DJ Unprotected, featuring me as your host. This is the last week of our Halloween-themed episodes. I know, sad, but true. We got to do it because once November hits, no more scary stuff unless you intentionally want that. But before we jump into our final ghoul old time, we're going to get into the interview with the electronic music group The Mourning, who is going to talk about their debut album called GONZO, which drops on Halloween. So I want to share that with you guys first before we get into the rest of the content, because this is important. So you know what? Without further ado, let's go. All right, everybody, here we are, another featured guest on the Output podcast with me, DJ Unprotected. We've got electronic music group Mourning here out of San Antonio, Texas, on the call. Super excited to have these guys on the show. They're getting ready to drop their debut album, GONZO, on Halloween, which is so close, about to happen. And we're going to get some inside info to this project. Now, here's a little secret. Okay, I reached out to the guys. They let me preview their album. And I got to tell you, GONZO is dope. All right. So anyway, let's not hold this back anymore. Let's get Mourning here on the show. How's it going, guys?
Doing good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm excited that we could make this happen. But before we get talking about GONZO, which is super groovy, by the way, absolutely love all the tracks you guys got in this album. But let's get to know you, okay? How'd you guys get started as a group?
We got started as a group because we met each other in 8th grade. So at first we started off as just like jam buddies, like after school. I would play guitar and he played bass. And so we would just like write songs together. Started like that. Then we just stayed jam buddies throughout the years. Near the end of high school, I started getting into electronic music and DJing from one of our other high school friends who goes by the name Reptor. So he showed me like all this electronic stuff. So I moved to Houston for a little while, did that, came back home. Dolph stayed by my side the whole time, still stayed jam buddies. Like there was never like no disbandment of us ever jamming together. So I was like, man, this guy's loyal. This is my day one. This is my homie here. So still made music. And then I told him, hey, I produce and stuff and I DJ. You already know that. How would you feel if I started teaching you on more electronic music production? And he was down. So I was like, fuck yeah. My jam buddy is now my fucking duo partner. And it's just been great. Like I wouldn't choose any other partner than him just because the chemistry's there, the loyalty's there, the friendship's there, the brotherhood's there. And it's just A1.
That's awesome, man. So that was the one side of the story. Do you got another one?
Well, he was right. We've been jamming out since 8th grade. We've, been into mostly rock. And then we sort of shifted away towards, dubstep. I know he was a big dubstep producer and DJ back then. And I was just working in the meantime. I would always stay in contact with Maldo during that time. He was in Houston doing his thing. And I was working, going to school at San Antonio College. And this year, or beginning of this year, I really wanted to, get into producing electronic music. And I've been hanging around Maldo a lot. We had our first gig before the whole pandemic, because the whole coronavirus. Oh, by the way, my name is Dolph Flex, by the way. I don't know if I introduced myself earlier. And this is Pleasant Dreams, Maldo Neo. And so, yeah, our first gig was at the Web House in San Antonio, Texas. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
I played there.
Played there? Yeah.
Yeah, I mixed next to Pleasant Dreams a couple times.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And so that's where we got our start. In the beginning, I was taking promo pics for Pleasant Dreams just for his Instagram. And later on, I was just really eager to get into learning how to produce. And we were able to produce a lot of hip hop beats at first until we shifted over to house music. And we love the genre. We think it's for everybody, regardless of who you are. You're always going to groove to something groovy, something funky. And we decided to pay like some sort of tribute. If you've, when you listen to the song, you're going to think like, oh, this is like some classical house music. And that's what really we wanted to go for, to pay tribute to that sort of genre before we move into some other territories like techno and deep house.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, definitely love the tribute to house. Like I said, man, I would love to toss this project into my sets and get it out there, man, because it's, like I said, it's really groovy. So let's talk about the name. I love the t-shirts, guys. So I hope everybody who's listening also checks out the podcast video. But they got some awesome gear. Gonna have to look into seeing how we can obtain some of that. But
we'll send you a shirt.
Yeah,
we got you on a shirt.
We'll get you a shirt for sure.
That's what's up, man. So tell us about Mourning.
Mourning, how it started.
How we got the name.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How we got the name really was we were at a hookah bar one night.
We're just spitballing ideas back and forth. We were like, okay, so once we were like dead set, we're going to be a duo. We're going to produce electronic music and stuff. We're like, we need a name though. And we were thinking like, do we want like a 2-word name? Like, that's cool.
And also if it had like a light or dark tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were just spitballing different names, and we like to wear black a lot. And so I was like, you know what? Like, we're not dark people. We're not like scary type or whatever. And we were just going through names, and we like the name Mourning and just like the meaning of it. It's
the irony.
The irony. That's why we picked it. We love the irony of it because we're not making goth music. We're not making anything dark or whatever. But our stuff is upbeat. Our stuff is very club friendly, very just welcoming to all walks of life, every race, every sex, anyone. And so there's nothing to mourn about it. So we just really love like the irony of it. That's why we picked it.
Like you think when you say morning, you automatically think of morning time.
If something
light.
Yeah.
But it has like a dark meaning to it. It's not. It's just grim. It's not really like grim, dark, whatever way you see it. We just saw like, why don't we make it ironic, like morning time, but it's like,
we wanted the name because it sounds like the title doesn't fit the genre of music we do. And that's what we really liked about it. Like, if you tell someone, hey, who is this? They'll be like, oh, this is Mourning. They're like, are you sure that's the right name for them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. We just really liked it, so we went with it.
That's a good point, because I've played music next to you, right? Pleasant Dreams. We've mixed it up at Web House. I see, the Instagram post, whatever, and I was like, okay, so before I pushed play, I was like, this album, GONZO, is probably going to be like deep house, maybe some deep tech. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was projecting. Maybe some like, I don't know, industrial trance. Like, I don't know. I was just, I hate to say it, I was stereotyping, like you guys said, like the way Mourning is, and you're thinking it could be goth.
We got you.
And it was the complete opposite, not to spoil it for the listeners, but it's some good stuff. So I like the choice. Now, what inspires you when you're creating?
You want to go first or me?
I guess listening to something good. You're driving to work. You're either you're at work or driving to work. When you're at home, you listen to some good music and you're thinking, hey, I could do that. Or, hey, I could possibly do that because you have a guitar or a drum set or, something good always gets you creative juices flowing. But with Mourning, we go off each other's minds. Like, we bounce off each other's ideas. We have a good vibe whenever we create our music. And that's where my inspiration comes. And I'm pretty sure Pleasant Dreams feels the same way.
For me, I would say I get my creative influences whenever I bring it to the table for Mourning is we like to do a lot of like Spotify digging, SoundCloud digging, and stuff like that. So if I find like a nice song I find on SoundCloud, I'll jam to it. I'll be like, wow, this is good. Like normally, if I really like it, I'm gonna be hooked on it for like a week or two.
Probably go in a mix.
And so then I think to myself, man, this is really good. What if I want to make something like this? But of course, I don't want to copy. Of course, I'm not trying to I don't want to do a remix. I don't want to do an edit.
Mm-hmm.
Put your own little flair to it somehow.
What if this version had a part 2 to it, where it's like a different take on it? So that's where I come in, make something in the style of it, but with my flavor on it, my touches, my little pieces here and there. And then I show what I make to Dolph, and then Dolph comes in and he's like, well, what if we add this? So then Dolph adds his touch to it, adds his little flavors to it. And that's just a big mashup right there. That's how we get our music.
I like
Teamwork
it, man.
makes the dream work.
Yes, it does. That's very cool, man. I like your guys' process. And I don't want to hold back from talking about Gonzo, because that's like the main reason why we're here. Like this dope album, we want people to know about it. So let's talk about Gonzo. And it's groovy. I definitely have some favorite tracks, but what was your favorite song for the project? You know, either one of you can go first.
I'll let you go first, Mal.
I'm going to say a tie between Done Playing the Fool and Mile High Club.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to pick one, I really love Mile High Club. I just love the grooviness of it. I get like a feel of like a late 70s, early 80s, like nice private jet feel to it. Like this is something you're just soaring through the sky and this is what's playing through the speakers.
It makes you feel like you're flying first class in like a private jet. And the hostess is bringing you lobster tails and all that stuff. And what's in the background?
It's just playing dance music. You're just vibing out. You're just enjoying yourself in the sky.
Yeah.
That's what I really like. I really like the horns to it and the shakers. Oh, I love it.
Who started? Okay, so I really like Holy Water. I love that piano chord riff. So who started that one?
That one, I came across, like, I was looking at different piano chords and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this sounds good. And we were going to go for another BPM. And it just wasn't fitting that BPM, what we had. So I was like, okay, hold on. I went, chopped it up, and then lowered the BPM to 125 and just added them in the right order. And it just came out so good. Originally, it wasn't going to be the piano. We were going to go to something else.
Okay.
But then I told Dolph, I was like, hold on. I don't want to just toss it. Let me just touch it one more time. Before we just say goodbye to it, let me touch it one more time and see what I could do. And then Dolph was like, fuck yeah, we're keeping it. And I was like, okay, we're keeping
it. I'm glad you did, man, because I love the piano sound. Like that piano, electronic piano just sounds dope.
We're glad you like it. We really do.
And the other one I like is Done Playing the Fool, which I know you said was almost your first favorite. Okay, close to Mile High Club.
Probably my favorite song right there. Done Playing the Fool.
The Saxon vocals, absolutely awesome.
Wow. And the percussion's probably my favorite too. And vocals.
I mean, overall, just a funky track. Like the selections, the composition, the way it flows. I love how like the vocals came in. They were kind of like, you could tell like it was like chopped up, and all of a sudden that hook came in, and I was like, ooh.
Yes.
The connection with that track, I really like that one. So when you're creating, like how long does it take you to work on a track?
We can tell you the best or the fastest it took us and how long it's taken us.
Let me break it down.
We'll probably start off with the fastest.
So, okay. We'll start with the fastest, then we'll go to the slowest. So for me, I don't like to leave a project unfinished. It just eats at me. But sometimes you gotta move on. But if I got something good going, I don't want to just drop it if I hit a hiccup or something. Yeah. So, example, Done Playing the Fool, that took 14 hours. 14 hours. We woke up in the morning and we're like, okay, we're gonna start early. And then it was like nighttime. When
9 to midnight.
No, later than midnight. Oh man. It was like probably, I kid you not, like 4 a.m. or something. I don't know the hours, but I know we stayed up till 4 a.m, just tired.
But we were on such a creative high that we just could not stop like coming up with stuff for it.
It was just all day. And I was like, I don't want to make something right now and just stop and pick up on it later. I was like, I just feel the rush. Let's just keep going. I told Dolph, we'll stay up as long as we need to. I feel just so confident with it. So that's how we finished that one in one day, like just full day sacrifice. And then next one, we did Mile High Club. Ooh, sorry. Mile High Club was...
Dude, I burp all the time on the show, man. Just let it rip.
I'm so sorry. Mile High Club was a bitch to work on. So we're like, cool. Okay, we really like how Done Playing the Fool came out. Let's make something if it had a brother to it. So that's what we start working on. Add in, it's sounding good. It's coming along. And then we hit a hiccup. And we're just like, man, what do we add from here? What do we put for a bridge? Where do we go from here? So we took a day off, and then a day turned into a week. Then we touch it a week later. Okay. Okay. Then another week goes by. We touch it again. We're like, hey, I'm going to add this shaker. Cool. Now the shaker's added. And no other progress was made after that. Then another week goes by. We're like, okay, hey, I think I found the bridge. We're like, yeah, this is good. Another week goes by. Scrap the bridge. Fuck the bridge. We're not using that bridge. And now we're probably like, say, a month and a half now near the end. And it's one of those inspirational days like we had with Done Playing the Fool. And boom, then we just finished the rest of Mile High Club that day. So it could be literally a whole day to a month and a half just on one song. There's no time frame really. But my thing is, I don't want to give up on it though. That's my thing.
Gotcha. So when you said, I think you said like you came into a roadblock or something, like it was a creative thing where you were kind of trying to figure out the best path forward, for people out there, and then you guys created such a talented project. And if there's anyone listening who's a writer, creator, what is the best way, in your advice, to get through those creative, roadblocks, like those issues where you're like, man, what's next? You know what I'm saying?
I think you're always going to come across some sort of creative roadblock, and it might not hit you right away. It'll hit you a month, maybe a year later for you to find out or figure out what fundamental could go with that song. So having creative roadblock is part of the creative process. So I wouldn't stress out too much about it. Maybe not let it go to like a month and a half or something. Just, put something in, and if you like it in the song, by all means, keep it in the song.
For me, I would say having a creative roadblock, like when you start the project, feel fully inspired. I wouldn't personally work on a song if I'm not feeling it or feeling inspired at the moment. I just don't want to just be like, how should I say, not knowing what I want to sign up for. Right. So I would say just vibe out to some music or talk with some friends, get a feel of what you want to create. then start it. And then, of course, once you start, that's when the roadblock will come. And I would say once you hit that roadblock, it could literally be like 3 days where you work on it for 4 hours. And then you're like, you know what? I don't know. Start it again next week or 2 weeks from now. Go back to it. Work on it. Still feel a little bit of roadblock, but the thing is, just keep going at. Even if you have a roadblock there, if you have a lot of faith in that song, don't just give up on it just because a lot of producers are like, don't dwell on a song too long if you hit a roadblock. My thing is, if you have a lot of faith in that song and you know this is like something that you want to represent you want to put your name on it, yeah, go for it. Keep working on it. Take your time. Rome wasn't built overnight. So I would say, but also keep in mind too, that if you're not feeling...
I'm good. So
if you're not feeling too... if you're not feeling too confident about it, or you just feel like, I just made the song for fun, I'm not really pouring my whole heart into it, yeah, just skip it. But if you feel like a really emotional attachment to yourself, don't just give up on it. That roadblock will pass through. Maybe listen to some more music and you'll be able to go back to it. Okay, I really like the shakers in this one song. Let me make my own pattern of shakers. Oh, I like the snare in this song. Let me find something similar, add it. And then that's where you got your own little track there and you've overcome that roadblock.
Gotcha, man. That's solid advice. And I think it's good for people to get that input, especially once they listen to this project, to know how dope it is and how much like effort you guys put into it. So say a listener, come on Halloween, they're going to go listen to your project, Gonzo. What song do you think they should listen to first that hooks them to the project?
I'm playing the fool.
I would say,
I think the first song,
we put them in order of what we feel like people would like. So we did Done Playing the Fool, which I feel like would be a good introduction one. And then Mile High Club, because if you're going to like Done Playing the Fool, you're going to like Mile High Club. You're going to still be in the zone. And we didn't want to just give you something that sounds, again, like Mile High Club and Done Playing the Fool. So we threw in Evolution 808. Just to give you a little breather, but still, it's a good jam that you want to jam to. It's a little bit different than Done Playing the Fool and Mile High Club. So that's where because if you just hear the same style over and over and over and over, it's going to bland you out. So that's what we did with Evolution 808. It goes hard. It's good, but it's like a different type of house compared to the first two tracks.
Right.
Then for the finale, because you got to go out with a bang. That's where we come in with Holy Water. So you took your little breather. Now, boom, bring in Holy Water. And you're feeling the good old house vibes, Chicago feel. You're just feeling the dance just go through your veins.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff, man. So there everybody knows. Just push play from the first track and you'll be all set. So what do you guys have up next after this project? I'm sure you got something that you're planning.
Yeah, we got something.
So you want to share?
Yes, I sure do want to share.
All right.
So today was the day we hit 1,000 followers on Instagram. And
Whoa.
We told our fans that once we hit 1,000, we're going to let y'all know a surprise. We thought we were going to maybe hit it maybe by Halloween or after Halloween, but you know what? We're going to release it on your show, the surprise here. So no one else knows until they listen to it right now.
Hey, that's awesome.
So Gonzo is good. Gonzo is all house. It's your daily dose of house that you want. But the next album we're coming out with is called Church. So Church is we're going to try to extend it from a 4-track album to like a 7-track album. So Church is going to be like, say, we're going for like a 90s techno feel, like 90s acid house, acid techno. That's what we're going with. So we got our drums. We already like picked out our drum samples we want to use. We already got our hi-hats picked out. Like, we get picky with it. Whenever we have the idea of what we want, we're going to get nitpicky with it. We don't want to release something that we don't feel full confident with. Mm-hmm. So we've been like promoting Gonzo for a while. So it's just all been preparation work, just prep. Like, we're not taking a little break. We're not going on a hiatus. Like, it's just like, this is like behind the scenes still working while Gonzo is being pushed. So Church is going to be just 90s techno, just like to the max. Like, we're just trying to get it. Like, if I had to do a mental picture for you, I would just say, think a warehouse, think invite only, think the synths are just beautiful, like from a Roland TB-303, and just like nice. Gosh, I don't know, man. It's just good shit. I'm just too hyped for it. If you like techno, you like the 90s, you like fucking acid rave shit, then I'm telling you, Church is where it's at. Church is coming. And that's where our banner here, like the whole like theme of it is going to be like black and white. And then just like, I would say the theme, we're going to use mannequins like for promo art and stuff like that. Just because Church is a group of people. And so we picked the name Church because whenever you go to church, I'm not trying to be religious here with like Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, whatever. I'm just saying any people who know the definition of church. You go there because you pray. You go there because you want to feel God. You're with a group of people that feel the same feeling with you. You're going to feel something. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we picked the name Church, because we want all the people to feel the music, love the music, and let the music impact you. Just roll with it and just feel it in your heart and just dance away and have a good time.
That's what's up. Very excited for Church. Definitely looking forward to see how that project turns out. So do you guys got any shout outs that you want to give while you're on the show?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to DJ Ira, DK Bean, and you.
I would say DK Bean, Zertronic, Reptor, Jordan Barden. Who else is there? Chewy. Shout out Chewy.
Oh, Polartron.
Yeah. Shout out DJ Chewy. I wouldn't be producing house and techno if it wasn't for Chewy. Big thank you, Chewy. Thank you.
Chewy's awesome.
Also to Jordan. Jordan has been, I'll come across some production hiccups and I just hit him up and he answers my question. He's a music teacher. So I know like he's not going to shorthand me or anything like that. And every time, good advice. And then Donald DK Bean, anytime we've had a tech question or whenever my laptop got fried or anytime just, I don't know, just wondering or curious about something with music, with house or techno, he's always been the go-to answer. He's been the Google for us of house and techno, basically. And then my best friend, Reptor, the one who got me started, shout out to him. Just, I love that fucker. I wouldn't be doing this shit if it wasn't for him.
Nice.
And then Zertronic, one more. I'm so sorry.
That's
Zertronic, all right. Supportive the whole time. Always been there, dropping our track. We gave him the songs first, and he dropped them at a few shows. And it just warmed our heart to know that people are jamming to our stuff, enjoying the music. And I wouldn't have picked anyone else to bootleg our stuff live than him. Like,
yeah.
So super cool. So listen, before we sign off, guys, from this call during the last few minutes, I want to give you a chance to throw your final plug, like where fans can listen to Gonzo that drops on Halloween. And also let us know your socials so we can add to that 1,000 subscriber list. So let us know.
Okay. We're going to be on YouTube, of course. We're going to be on Spotify. We're on iTunes.
We have videos on YouTube, actually, where we review Jefferson Bodega, the snacks.
We do like little snack reviews and like little stuff like that. That's a video you can check out when we shot. But we're on all major music platforms. So you can find us on Deezer and other places too.
Apple Music, Spotify.
Napster, if you still go on Napster.
Nice. And what about your socials?
Social, just Pleasant Dreams.
1, 2, 3.
What?
Our socials? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Social media.
Social media.
Oh, not social numbers.
No, not your social security card.
Oh.
My social media is Pleasant Dreams, but the S at the end of dreams is a Z. So Pleasant Dreams with a Z.
What about you, Dolph? 579.
It's at Dolph Flex at Instagram. At Good Not Bad on Twitter. You can also find me on Facebook. Don't add me though, because I'm not gonna accept.
Gotcha.
And no, you're good. You could add me.
All right.
If someone I don't know like adds me because I said this, I'm just like no. But if you add me, I'll definitely add you.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and you can find us our producing duo.
Mourning.music
at Mourning.music on Instagram, and we're on Facebook as well.
Sweet. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure and great to have you guys here on the show. Thanks for joining us this episode. Super excited for Gonzo to drop on Halloween everywhere, guys. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, I hope you check it out. Support them. Hit them up on Instagram. Like their content. These guys are real inspiring, and I've DJ'd next to Pleasant Dreams, and, it's really cool. So, Mourning, thanks again for coming on the show, guys. Wish you the best of luck with your first release.
Much love. Thank you, brother. You have a good night.
I fully appreciate and respect artists like The Mourning who are clearly passionate about the music that they create. As a fellow artist, I enjoy hearing their perspective on creating, and I absolutely did enjoy their perspective and thoughts on like how to overcome like creative roadblocks. Like when you're working on a project and all of a sudden everything kind of sounds off, like things aren't connecting, or you're not sure what idea to do next. And I'm sure this same thing happens when you're into writing and things of that nature. Like any type of artist has experiences. It can be common. So love their thought process on it. I want to invite you guys again to check out their album, which drops on Halloween. All right. So check it out on Saturday. Make sure you look it up. Gonzo by Mourning, Mourning, on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. They've said it in the interview. Just doing a final plug for them. Listen, if you're enjoying this podcast, right, we're now in episode 20. We had a guest. I'm going to start bringing more guests back because I think we can do it in a better process. But please do me a favor, support this show. I love any type of support you can give, whether you like the content on Instagram and Facebook. But if you want to continue to catch up and listen to these episodes, please subscribe. No matter where you're listening, we're on everywhere: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Google, everything. Okay, it's all out there. Pandora. I promise you my episodes exist, all right? But I appreciate any support you can give. So that's it. Thanks again for tuning into The Output with me. This podcast is presented by Aztec Nation, so I hope you're picking up what we're putting out. We got a lot to say. Tune in on your favorite streaming platform next week for a brand new episode. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Be safe, have fun, and enjoy Halloween. We out.